Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I'm bringing to you guys is how to effectively prepare for New World's February update. This update should be coming with an announcement either later today or tomorrow, so this should give you a good few hours from the time of posting this to actually get ahead of the game and on top of the curve before this drops. And if you are watching this video after the update has dropped, these will still apply. Just bear in mind it's in the past tense rather than in the future tense, so you might not be able to pre-prepare for them, but you can still do some of these things once this update has gone live, which is the great thing about this video. Now, it should be coming very shortly, like I mentioned there, but these things should help you to stay on top of your game when it does drop and for the first couple of weeks afterwards. I'm going to go over things that have changed, things that have been updated that you need to be aware of that could change the economy and the desire and want for certain items within the game as a result of these changes. So hopefully it does help you out, and let's jump into it. Now, before we fully get into today's video, if you haven't already done so, please do go down below and drop a subscribe to the channel. I do upload daily content here, and it would be amazing to have you here as part of the channel community. We are pushing for 15,000 subscribers, which is going to be a huge milestone for the channel, so if you could help us out in reaching that, it would be absolutely amazing. Without further ado, let's jump into it. So the first thing here is going to be to save any Gypsum Orbs or Gypsum casts that you currently have. Now, the reason for this is that after the update, you will be able to get more Umbral Shards from these, especially if you have some 620 or even 625 items. For those of you that don't have those, the regular 600 plus casts are still going to be decent, but you're going to get a lot more for the higher end items. Now, the reason for this is because compared to right now, you're going to be getting a whole lot more. The new range is from 100 at level 600 all the way up to 400 Umbral Shards per cast at level 625 from the previous 3 at 600 to 200 at 65. So it's doubled at the end there, and your minimum has gone from 3 to 100. So it's a huge difference, and that's why I'm saying even if you've just got 600 with some stuff, it's still going to be much worth it. I mean, you're literally getting 97 more than what you're getting right now. So just save hold of those until this update goes live. Then you can start to get some upgrades done fairly swiftly. Now, on a similar vein to this, we've also got the crafting materials. You want to save those for right now. The reason for that is, of course, the update should be here in the next day or two. At the time of recording, it's the 25th of February. We've only got till the 28th of February. Otherwise, the month has been missed for this update. So it's literally going to be within the next day or two. So hold on to your crafting mats. I wouldn't usually say that to people. If you're watching this video after it's gone live, hopefully you've had some saved up. And if you haven't, start to save some up, because again, these Umbral rewards for crafting a 600 item, if you do manage to get that craft, have actually gone up. And again, the new values are between 25 and 100 from 1 to 85 as the previous values. So again, up by a significant amount. And even though it's not many shards that you do get from this, is still a fairly decent avenue that waiting just a couple of days for those are watching before the update's gone live and those are now doing it afterwards. You guys are going to get such a big increase compared to before that it is certainly worth it. Now, certain item perks have been buffed and / fixed in the game. So if there is any that you have or any that you get dropped with the following ones on, do keep hold of them. I'm going to go through the list of what's changed and tell you whether it's a buff or a change, and see basically once this goes live what is going to be most in demand and what's going to sell on your server. Some of them may become best in slot, or at least be preferable for a lot of players to get, so you can sell them for a decent amount of gold. Others, not so much, even after a buff or change, because potentially they're still not quite competing with the other perks. So with that being said, I wouldn't go out of my way to buy any of these, but if you do happen to get them as drops in the next day or two, or the coming few days after the update's gone live, whilst the new meta is still being decided, do keep hold of them. And the following changes are: with the bow, you've got energizing evade shot. This has had a pretty decent buff, so this will probably be quite sought after. Then we've got the fire staff with accelerating flamethrower. This one has had a change. Potentially it's going to have less frequent procs, so do bear in mind there that one might not be as popular. Then we've had changes to the chain perks, so whether it's void chain, ice chain, whatever. They no longer chain through objects, which is a change, but it's actually quite good for not getting unintentional aggro, particularly in PvE. So PvE weapons with this on could sell for a lot, but again, PvP is not really going to be a best in slot selection. Plentiful shells / arrows have been changed so that they will now scale with the gear score, and it's sort of had a buff where they'll actually replenish more arrows the higher up gear score you get, but to be honest, It's not something that a lot of players go for, and I don't think this change is going to change that too much. I think it's still going to be pretty low on the priority list, but it is there. If you've got some good pieces with it on, it's no longer going to be sort of a dud. So you might be able to sell some pieces if you've got that. And the final thing here is aversions. Aversions have been changed to stack as intended. I'm not entirely sure whether that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing as yet, which is why I mentioned in the preamble sort of part to this. Just wait and see what that's like when it comes into live testing, when people have had a chance to test it with PvP, PvE, etc. But they've been changed to stack as intended according to developer notes. So we'll wait and see with those ones, but aversion stuff, keep hold of that if you've got at least one of each piece, especially from these mutations. Just keep hold of them for now. Now, leveling for Arcana, Armoring, Engineering, Furnishing, Jewel Crafting, and Weaponsmithing will now require 10% less XP to level up and, of course, get trade skill aptitude caches with. So, if you are wanting to level up those skills, wait until after this update, and if you want to grind out some of the trade skill aptitude caches, again, they will now be more in line with some of the other skills, but again, you do want to wait till after the update for this. I know from getting weaponsmithing up, this was a huge task to get to level 200, and I know it's the same for many of these other crafting ones, so hopefully this change means that we can all get max crafting level 200s, and with the trade skill aptitudes, when you are crafting for yourself and for other players in your company or on the server, whatever the case may be, you're getting closer to those trade skill aptitude caches, which is going to be really, really good. Now, also with this, if you have got some T3 trade skill aptitude boxes, keep hold of them. Basically, these are going to be the only way in the game to get the Smelter gear set once this update has gone live, and this will be very sought after. It's going to be one of the only ways, if not the only way, to get a chance at the additional daily craft item limits, and of course, with smelting, you're looking at Asmodium there, so you've got a chance to roll 11, 12, 13, maybe even 14 Asmodium instead of the regular 10. So do bear that in mind. It's going to be in super high demand. Asmodium's used for most crafting in New World. So if you are able to save up some T3 aptitude boxes and then pump this out and try and get some gear sets once this goes live, that's going to be really good, especially if you can get multiple pieces of the same. People are certainly going to be buying this for a decent amount of cash, so I'd certainly save those up. Then, if you've got housing taxes that are due to run out in the next day or two before this update goes live, and you're either not going to be super active, you don't need the buffs or the trophies from that location, or you're just not going to be teleporting there for the next few hours to couple of days, depends how close they bring this update out, leave it until the update's gone live, because they are reducing the taxes by a lot. What they're actually going to be doing is bringing the new maximum housing tax down to 1% from the 10% it currently is, and the minimum will be 0.1. Now, companies, do not fear. For those of you that haven't seen or read the notes, you will be getting 5 times this added to your company bank, so you'll still be making a lot of profit, whilst players are able to play the game a lot more freely and not be reluctant to buy houses based on monetary income to the company deciding. So you're going to be on minimal taxes, but the companies are still going to be getting around about half of what they would be getting if they're on max right now, which is still a fairly decent way out. In my opinion, this is a really good thing, but bear that in mind. If your housing taxes are about to run out, just give it a couple of days, because you are going to save a few hundred gold. And finally, cooking is getting an increase to the XP that is required, as it was much faster than other skills. We know this, a lot of us that have played the game know that cooking was by far and away excelling a lot. So essentially, if you're close to maxing this out, do it now, because as soon as this update goes live, it's going to be much harder to level up. And for those players that are maxed out already and are close to getting a trade skill aptitude cache, make sure you grab those ahead of the update too, as it will be much easier to do now before this update fully goes live. So hopefully that does help you guys out, and hopefully you can get ahead with a few of these things, whether it's finishing off some skills, waiting to do your skills, waiting to do your crafts, saving your gypsum, orbs and casts. I think that's the main one for me, making sure I've saved up a few of those, because it's going to get me a lot of umbral. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed and found this video useful. If you have, please do be sure to leave a like and subscribe on today's videos. It does massively help support me and my channel here on YouTube. Other than that, that is going to be it for today. So as always, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you again very, very shortly on a brand new upload. Take care, guys, and peace.